what is deterring you from doing a habit. Like, is it time constraint, or is it self-sabotage? Are you self-sabotaging yourself? Are you procrastinating? Like, in the moment, be aware. Hello guys, my name is Aji. Welcome to Figure It Out with Aji, a place where you're empowered to figure out your money, your career, your personal growth, and live life on your own terms. So today I am going to be talking to you guys about the 7 tips and tricks that you could use to stick with those healthy habits that you set your mind to. So let's get into the video. So the first tip is to put systems in place to facilitate doing the habits. I've come to realize that willpower alone is not gonna cut it. We're busy, we have busy lives, and we have so much going on, and sometimes you're just unmotivated and you just don't want to do anything and just want to stay in the bed and sleep. But like, putting systems in place which facilitate you doing habits can be a game changer in sticking with your habits. For example, if you want to start working out, you can plan ahead of time the day before to lay out your workout clothes, your gear and everything. Lay it out, plan it out. When the day arrives, you don't really even have to think about what you're gonna wear. You just wear or go. Another thing is, for example, like if you wanted to drink more water. For example, what I did, I wanted to start drinking more water. At most like 1 gallon of water. So what I did is I have glasses of water everywhere. So it facilitates me being able to drink that water, so I don't even have to think about it. Like, if I see the water, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a reminder, to prompt me to kind of like start drinking the water as the day goes along. And also another thing you can do is set reminders, like set prompts in your phone, to remind you of things that you needed to do. For example, if you wanted to go for a walk, or maybe there's a task that you needed to do, set a reminder. So like, the big part of facilitating like doing these habits is planning ahead. You have to have a plan, because sometimes life happens, things happen, but you can always shift and navigate. But if you have a plan set in mind, in motion, like when the times arises, you don't even have to think about it. You just have the plan ready, and it can go. One of the apps that I use to also like track my habits, to see like what habits I've been sticking to, is called the Habit app. I will link it down in the description below. It has been very helpful. It's like you are able to go in and put in like what habits you want to do, how often you want to do them, and that is like a good indicator of like whether you're like sticking with your habits and how far you're coming along as well, if you like tracking things like I do. The second tip I will share with you guys is research tips and tricks that other people are using to stick with their habits. Like, YouTube, IG stories, and like reels. Those are all resources you can use, like books that talk about habits. Like, for example, one book that I did read is Zen Habits. It's a very good book, and it gives you perspective on how to create habits and stick with them. So like, do some research, because I think sometimes like we have intentions to like do a habit that we wanted to do, but when the time arises, we become so overwhelmed and like give up before it even begins, because we just we don't know where to begin or where to start. But if you want to start doing something, like if you want to start reading more books, do some research and see how other people are reading books. For me, for example, I used to read for leisure, like before I started college. But when I started college, I was too busy to read. So I wanted to get back into reading more books, like reading 1 book a month. So that's 12 books a month. And like my dad told me, he's like, it doesn't have to be this big thing. You can just read 5 minutes a day, and that would be impactful in your life. So that's what I started doing. I started reading 5 minutes a day, before I go to bed. Now it's like 10-15 minutes. And last year I was able to read like 12 books, more than 12 books in a year. So just talk to other people, talk to your friends, see how they're implementing their habits. They can share with you tips and tricks. You can use this video and like do some research. Like I'm telling you, going into it blind can make you even stop before you even begin. So do some research, talk to your friends, see how they implement their habits. So another tip that I will share with you guys is be realistic with yourself at the start of like doing a habit or adopting a habit. Like less is more. Track how often you do this habit. Like, is it in line with what you plan on doing? And if it's not, it's okay to adjust. Start small. And also being realistic with yourself allows you to pivot quickly, because then you realize that, okay, this is what I can work with, and you work on that until like that muscle is built, and then you do it more often, or do it whatever time you intended to do it. So another tip that I would share with you guys is affirm yourself. Like, write things down saying that you can do this, that you got this, that you're able. Sometimes I think we look for validation from other people, and like when you don't believe in yourself that you can do this, sometimes it's very hard to to just press the start button because you don't believe in it. So write affirmations down, set affirmations down, give yourself a pep talk. Like, really, I do this for myself. Like, when those negative thoughts start to enter my mind, I just like push them away and try to affirm myself. Be like, I can do this, I'm able to do this, I have a plan, I've researched this, I got this, and that will set you forward to doing the habit. Write things down that motivate you. Be like Mary Jane, and write things down and stick it to your mirror or your wall or whatever. Like, whatever gets you going or whatever is able to, push you through. You need to like really push through and really believe in yourself, because other people can tell you you can do this, but if you don't believe it, then it's a point of no return. And also, like, be aware of those negative thoughts, those self-deprecating thoughts that you tell yourself. Listen to the narrative that you tell yourself. Like, be kind to yourself, affirm yourself, and know that you can do this, however small it is or whatever it is. You can do it. So the other tip that I will share with you is set boundaries with yourself and the other people around you. Set time frames on how frequent that you want to do like a habit. Do you want to start working out maybe 3 days a week? Do you want to start drinking more water? Do you want to get out of debt? Like, what habits are you implementing to get out of debt? Do you want to save money? What are you gonna do? A good habit, for example, could be you want to get out of debt, but perhaps maybe you have friends that want to go out almost like every day to eat, and you cannot afford that. Like, how are you gonna address those situations? Decide what you're gonna tell your friends, and depending on how they respond, you need to figure out what is important to you. So decide on how you are gonna react to people that infringe on the time that you set out to do a habit. For example, if you're a mother or your wife, carve out time and let everybody know, hey, at 8 o'clock or at 7 o'clock or whatever time, this is what mommy is doing, this is what wifey is doing. Please do not infringe on my time. Take time for yourself to do this habit because it's important to you, and also like it's healthy and it's productive. So you have to like protect your space, guard your space, and guard your time as well, because it's important. And also set parameters on how you are gonna bounce back when you fall off the wagon. For example, what is the most days you would go without doing a habit consecutively? And also like be cognizant of what is deterring you from doing a habit. Like, is it time constraint, or is it self-sabotage? Are you self-sabotaging yourself? Are you procrastinating? Like, in the moment, be aware why it is so hard to get to do the habit. If you're aware of it, you're able to catch it. The other tip that I will share with you is surround yourself with people that are doing the same habits that you want to do. If you want to read more, join a book club. That would make you're more likely to do it. Join a book club, because that will give you the push to read a book, and so that you can talk about it. If you, for example, wanted to do, let's say you wanted to start running, join a running club. A running club whereby you make friends and you guys train together and that would motivate you and you push each other. Another example that I could give is like whatever it is. For example, like you wanted to learn a new language, like join a meetup. Like the Meetup app, they have different groups whereby you can join. So if you, for example, wanted to learn a foreign language, like you can join that club, and you can have a specific time when you do that thing that you wanted to do. And it's fun because you're interacting with other people, you're motivating each other. People are talking to you about the things that they are doing. They're sharing tips and tricks, going back to what I said, like researching, and so that is a good way of like sticking with your habits and staying on top of it. Because like, especially if you're competitive, you see other people doing it, and that also gives you the zeal to keep going, to keep pushing through, and you're able to motivate each other as well. And also, like, if you want to elevate in life, that takes good habits to practice. So it's important that you surround yourself with people that are going to motivate you. If you want to elevate and you're stuck with people that want to, remain at the bottom of the barrel, it's going to be very hard for you to elevate. So go around people that are trying to do the same things as you in terms of like habits, and that will encourage you to keep going. And another thing is you can persuade your friends, your spouse to join you. For example, if you want to go to the gym, I mean, it's a panorama in here, so nobody's going anywhere, but like you guys can have Zoom calls, and basically, you can set a time where you have a Zoom call and you can walk out together and persuade them and like talk them through it to support each other. And the last tip that I will share with you is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's not going to be an easy journey. There's no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs. If it was easy, everyone would do it. Just remember in the moment of like giving up, like why you're doing it. And also like with these healthy habits, you never feel bad when you do them. You always feel happy. You always feel productive. Like if you're working out, I've never worked out and felt bad about it. Like it's always that good euphoric feeling of like, oh, I did this and I'm so glad that I did this. You're gonna stumble along the way, but what matters is to keep going. When you're trying to change something, you really have to get uncomfortable to move forward, to push through it. There's no way of going around it. You have to push through it and really hone in and focus, and think about why you're doing it. Use this as an opportunity to do the things that you always wanted to do. I think perhaps the pandemic has given us all a perspective to kind of like really figure out what is important in our lives. Try these tips and let us know which tip you think would best suit you, and also share with us down below what tips and tricks that you have used to stick with your habits. This is a community. We're sharing with each other, so comment down below and let us know the tips and tricks that you have used as well to stick with your habits. I will have all the resources that I've talked about, like the apps, in the description below. Do like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until then, I will see you when I see you. Bye.